No phones in the dean's room.
We didn't have phones when I was in high school, so I'm not used to it.
How old are you, if I may ask?
I just turned 28, but I grew up on a farm, so I was in a farm town, so we're 10 years behind.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So
okay,
because
I was like
2009 to 2013 was like my high school time, but it was really like 1999 to 2003 is really kind of when
You know what?
it was.
Okay.
We were saying YOLO unironically when I graduated high school.
It's the Dean's Room, where I see you and you see me. The Dean's Room, where we spillin' all that tea. The Dean's Room, where we talking all that goss. The Dean's Room, but you know that I'm the boss.
Hola a todos, it is your favorite tia, Hiliana Perez, and this is the Dean's Room. Tonight we have a very special guest. We have Miss South Bend 2022, Anaslaysia.
Hello, hi, how are you?
Listen, when I told Anaslaysia to come over for the Dean's Room, I was like, you know what? I don't know what to wear whatsoever. I struggled literally the entire time from Monday up until today. I was like, what the fuck am I gonna wear? And then I thought, it's fucking Anaslaysia, bitch. She loves neon, so why not wear fucking neon?
Absolutely.
And then the bitch walks in through the door, and she's wearing fucking neon. So I'm like, you know what? We're highlighter sisters today.
Yes, getting highlighter.
Highlighter.
We're here to bring you the highlights.
Of Drag Master.
Episode
7. Is that how you're supposed to do it? So, Miss South Bend, how has life been since you won that beautiful crown?
Life has been insane. It's been so fun, just being able to like meet more of the drag community. I host open stages at South Bend now, so like I get to see new talent all the time, which is wonderful because I book talent for my fitness drag classes, so my Anaslassia's drag ride. So I love seeing like what new talent is coming up, and I love being able to host those.
That's awesome. And when are the open stages for
Open
South
stages
Bend?
are every Friday. When there's not two hosts, so when there's only Jennifer Lynn, there's actually a $50 cash prize for the winner.
Yeah.
When there's two hosts, I took the $50 cash prize because I'm the winner. So
Exactly.
very that.
And then your drag rides, they are at Heartfelt.
Yes, Heartfelt Cycle Studio, Yoga Studio, and Pole Studio, queer-owned fitness brand studio here in Columbus, Ohio. We love to see it. We love to support it. It's also their fitness goals are all about being an individual and knowing that fitness is going to look different on everybody's body.
Ooh,
But it's
I
also
love that.
for every body, right? So it's the only gyms, for lack of a better term, that I've seen where I've seen the most diversity ever. Not just in color of skin of the participants and instructors, but like in body types, in queerness, just diverse across the board in everything.
That's awesome. Heartfelt Studios, make sure you check them out, okay? Because Anaslaysia hosts drag rides there. Yes, you get to see drag queens all up in the bike sweating their asses off.
Yes.
Is that what happens? Is that, no?
Sometimes.
Sometimes? Okay, listen. I'm going to be in one of these soon, and I'm scared for my life because I sweat like a motherfucker, okay?
Same.
So I'm gonna be there like
I'll have a
barely
new
doing
can.
anything, and it's like dripping in sweat.
I'll have a new can of my waterproofing setting spray that you can use before you go on.
Ooh,
Yep.
what kind of waterproof setting spray do you use?
One Size Beauty, Patrick Starr's, On Till Dawn. It is
It
so
is.
good. Takes a queen to know a queen.
Anything, yes.
Mhm.
Anything from one size.
Yep.
Available at
It's
any
exceptional.
fucking, what is it, Ulta?
Sephora. Sephora, yes.
There we go. Available at any Sephora. Ooh, you know what? I have someone that works at Sephora. You know who you are. We gonna get some one size girl.
And see, Sephora, you don't know who that is, so keep on guessing, bitch.
Smart.
Oh, do we curse in this?
Yes,
Oh,
we
we're-
do.
okay, great.
You know what? Let's cheers to that. And we are drinking our signature wine with some tajin, and I added a special ingredient. Can you guess what it is?
No.
It's not poppers, trust me. So
That I would have got.
what it is chamoy. So it is kind of like a sweet and kind of like tart-ish type of sauce that people put on fruit. Like in Mexican culture, we put it on fruit or anything with tajin. So that's what's in there.
Work. I
So-
love it. Best
Yeah.
tasting White Claw I've ever had.
Well, it's always here at the Dean's Room where we have the best tasting alcohol. So, you were at the episode of The Drag Master, were you not?
Yes, I was. I was in attendance. I was there. She was here, mama.
She was here, mama. Boom. So, this week's challenge for The Drag Master was the educational ball.
The ball.
The ball, darling, where you gotta bring the looks, where you gotta bring the runway, where you gotta bring the strut, where you gotta bring everything.
Bring it to the runway.
Yes.
And some of them did exactly that. They
Some.
brought it to the runway.
Keyword.
And some of them brought it onto the runway.
runway.
It was on the runway.
You're stupid. Yes, that is so right. But you know what? We never lie in the Dean's Room.
Very
We never
that.
lie. We just state motherfucking facts.
Mm-hmm. And also, I'll come tell it to your face, sweetie.
We had 3 runways for the ball, which were gendometry, drag historian, as well as science is a drag.
Ooh.
So
Three
first of all-
runways.
First of all, yes, 3 runways. What do you think of the runways themselves, though? Because I was looking back at it and I was like, that seems kind of hard. Like, those are 3 hard categories.
Yes, I think the gendometry was the hardest, but I actually think it's one of them that I think most people did the best at.
Yes.
I think they really took it and ran with it because it was your expression of gender through fashion, right?
Yeah, through geometry, yeah.
Which is so abstract and so weird, but also like so cool and fun.
Exactly.
To see what people came up with. That was really cool. I love the drag historians, right? Like paying it forward to the people who came before us in drag, which a lot of people don't always know anymore, right? If they weren't on RuPaul's Drag Race, they don't know them anymore. Which no one did anybody affiliated with RuPaul. And I kind of love that.
Same.
It was like
yeah,
actual out of RuPaul drag historians.
that's what we love. And then science is a drag. That one I was looking forward to the most because it is using unconventional materials that you would use for a specific science project. Like, that is so fucking
Yeah.
specific.
That is so fun. There's been a lot of unconventional materials challenges in this.
Yes.
And from the first one, the condoms one, I was very interested to see the creativity in the people and how they would use the materials, right? Because in my
Yes.
mind, with an unconventional material challenge, I don't want to be able to look at it and know what the material instantly was.
Exactly.
I don't want to know, oh, that was a crumpled up piece of paper. I want to be able to look at it and be like, oh, that's a fun texture. What is that? Oh, it's a crumpled up piece of paper. Like, I want to be able to question it.
Okay.
So-
Yes. Oh, we love fashion. We love fashion so much, and that's why also I've been pretty excited for the ball episode because I mean it's 3 looks that each contestant has to do. So let's do the math here. 3 looks times 7 contestants, so that's you carry the 2.
84.
84.
84
I thought it was
looks.
160.
Oh, is it 160?
Or was
Oh,
it
carry the
300?
2. It's 160.
160 looks.
Yeah. That's insane.
That's insane. So 21 looks.
Yeah, 21.
21 fucking looks. Are we ready?
I'm absolutely ready.
So starting off with our first runway category, which was gendometry. Round of applause, round of applause. Dolly.
Yep, thank you, thank you.
Okay. So who were your tops for this runway category?
Gendometry, my tops were... No, I forgot. So my tops were Leota.
Okay.
I loved the geometry-ness of it, and also still very like queer flag. I got either gender expression or sexual orientation. So I totally got that from it,
Yes.
and it was geometric.
It lit up.
It was very cool, structured. It was like body armor almost. So I really liked that one. I actually really liked Josha's take on it. Like this black velvet gown with just
Yes.
this black velvet dick, basically, and like gold chain balls. I don't know. I thought that was fun, a fun take on it. And then I really liked Sage Loves. I really liked the, fascinator that said boy, the, what are those? I don't know, the symbol of boy, I
Yeah,
guess.
no, it's not chromosome. It's
Whatever that symbol is.
like
the circle with the arrow.
yes,
Yeah,
that.
I liked that. It was very literal, but also it was geometric at the same time, so I was like, it totally fits the bill. I will say, I don't like when undergarments show on anyone,
Yes.
so if it's not the same color as the costume, just do a little hike and ride it on up. Turn anything into a thong and you won't have to worry about any
Yes.
panties showing outside of the garment.
Great piece of advice.
Lines
right there.
underneath don't bother me as much. We all got a lot of stuff going on underneath. But something like that is a little bit of a point drawback.
Great piece of advice right there. If you can make it to a thong, do it. That way you don't got to worry about it showing
Mhm.
nowhere. So
And we live in the age of the ass, so show it off.
might as well.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Who are your tops?
My tops. Ooh, I will definitely have to say Leota, because it did light up. That was one of my favorite things, was seeing them coming from the back by the DJ, and since it's darker over there and it just lit up, I was like, ooh.
I don't even necessarily want to say garments, because their take on the runway has always, in what I've seen, been like structures. Like it's very
Yes.
structural, which I think is really cool, especially when everyone else is wearing a garment and you're wearing something entirely different.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so good to be original and be set apart. Some people might judge it differently, but you look different, and that's usually a good sign. If you're all wearing the exact same thing, that's questionable.
Yes.
So,
Another one of my top for me was Maelstrom, actually, which I believe was the same type of colors that Leota was doing. I believe is pansexual. Correct us if we're wrong as well. But I really enjoyed that. The gown with like the
the
little
white with
triangles.
the pink on it.
Mhm.
I loved the color combos. I felt other people took it further with the geometry and with the fashion side. But it was clean. It was clean. Her face looked
Gore.
literally, I tell her every time, I'm like, every time you show up here, you look the best you've ever looked.
Yes.
Every time.
Every single week, it's
Every
better.
time.
It gets better. It gets better. It gets better.
Every
Hashtag it gets better. So, who were your bottoms for this category?
So, my bottoms. There's going to be a lot of jokes in the YouTube comments. Sound off already, okay? Anaslasia's talking about having bottoms. It's funny. She's actually verse clean, okay? But the bottoms for me were Bariana and Hotel for this first part of the runway, for this
Okay.
first one. I just felt that the geometry from Hotels wasn't quite there, and I feel like the same with Bariana's. I just didn't see the geometry side of it. I saw the gender from Bariana's. I didn't quite get gender from Hotels at all. Love you, girl, but, gotta stand out and stick to the
Right.
theme. Like, you want to be individual, like Leota did, very individual. You want to look different, but you also want to make sure that you're hitting all the check marks, right? If you're supposed to present geometry and gender, you need to make sure that it's easily noticeable.
Geometry and gender as well.
Mhm.
Sometimes you have to make it obvious for the judges as well as for the crowd.
Yes,
We're not going to understand what was your thought process behind it.
absolutely.
And when I looked at Hotels, because that's funny that you mentioned that, because when I looked at it, at first I was like, I see like a cross, right? So I'm thinking chromosomes, right? Maybe like the X chromosome. That's what I was thinking. But was it that?
Who knows?
Who knows? because
That's
it was
interesting, though.
it was very vague. That was the only thing I could pull from, was just, okay, it's cross X chromosome.
I
That was
will
all
say
got.
there was almost nothing to it, and she looked gorge.
Yes.
I said I couldn't wear that and look beautiful, so good for you, Hotel. Good
For
you, girl.
real. Hotel, every single week we tell you, you are just gorgeous.
I know, and she's a mother.
And a mother!
With that body still. She must have breastfed.
I have not had any children and I have this body. What the fuck? Hotel. So, drag historian is our next category. Who were your standouts for this one?
Yes, so actually kind of something we just talked about in the last one. You have to make it obvious.
Yes.
Right? I feel like a lot of them relied on the photo in the background, and there was some critique from judges of, we maybe would have gotten your reference if you'd had a photo in the background,
Yeah.
but you're relying on something that you won't always have. So if it's not obvious, maybe rethink it to make it obvious. You
Yep.
can still choose that person, but make it very obvious that it's them. My other critique with almost all of them was, yes, local drag queens, wonderful people to highlight in Drag Historian. I think that most of them weren't necessarily historians in the way that I would have interpreted the runway. I feel like most of them were people that they look up to in the drag community, which is beautiful and wonderful. And they did a really good job because I got all the references of who they were for those. I will say that. But to me, I loved Grace Jones, Divine.
Yeah.
I loved the ones that were just so
Obvious.
as to who they were without anything in the background. So Josha's eyebrows is Divine. I knew it was Divine.
Yep.
Hotel's Grace Jones, for one, stunning, looked incredible, so hot, and also I was like, that is Grace Jones. Like,
The
I know.
attitude. There was also a difference in the runway with Hotel, like energetically. It was giving a lot of, because I immediately got Grace Jones, but I wasn't sure, because in the back, actually, some tea. So Hotel came up to me and said, should I submit a picture for the runway or not? Right before she needed to be ready to go on. I told her, well, you can either risk it and have them not understand or guess who this is, or if you're confident enough to know that they're going to immediately get it, then you could either send the picture or not. And Hotel was like, you know what? I think that they'll get it. I got it.
I got it too. So,
That's all that matters.
ding ding ding, hit the marks. But yeah, that was my main critique with this one. I didn't necessarily care as much about like the polish of the looks as much, because like Divine was not super polished in her drag, and that's what her whole thing was about. But so I feel like I judged it more on, did I get exactly who this person was?
Yeah.
Everybody else kind of fell through the cracks for me. I either didn't actually know that entertainer because it's a newer entertainer that I'm just not aware of because they're not they're right outside of Columbus, so I didn't know them immediately from just a little sequin dress, I guess. I didn't quite get that was that person. But yeah.
Okay.
One that I did know was Leota's Karma Chaos.
Yep.
I got that instantly.
Mm-hmm.
But that person has been coming to Dragmaster as well.
True.
So Karma's performed, and also I've seen Karma in the audience when they're not there. So I still got that one. And I guess they're a historian to Leota, so
Okay.
that fits the bill on that mark, I guess. But yeah.
Okay. I really enjoyed Maelstrom's take on Lee Bowery.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that one.
Yeah.
I loved it. Instantly walked out in that face key and I was like, this is Lee Bowery. I knew instantly, yes. Maelstrom, you did not fall through the cracks. I am filing a retraction.
Yes.
I'm having it redacted from the record. Maelstrom, you killed it with that one too. You were not only polished, incredible, outstanding, brilliant, never seen before, never seen, well, okay, Nina West, but but it was still an incredible reference. Everybody knew instantly when you came out, that's exactly who it was.
Yes.
Maelstrom was the winner for that.
I
One
agree.
in my book.
I
Thank you for
completely
reminding
agree.
me.
Yes, I completely agree because in the back, me and AJ were both looking at each other like, did this bitch really just... Okay.
Was so good.
Yes, it was so good. So, that was some of the standouts. Now, you said you had mentioned that some of the ones that fell through the cracks for you were those that were using local people that they looked up to. I agree with that. I am happy that some of them decided to post pictures for those.
Yes.
And then there were some that didn't, and then
it was
I guess
lost. It was
lost.
a beautiful look, but I had no idea of who it was supposed to be without the photo. So yeah.
Okay, cute. On to our last category of the board, darling. It was Science is a Drag! Yes.
Science kind of was a drag.
Listen, drag is definitely science because you have to mix all these chemicals on your face to make you and
Adhesives.
transform. Adhesives.
Solvents.
So many fucking things. Drag is science, people! If you want to learn science, do drag.
We're all born naked and the rest is super glue and duct tape.
And
or whatever
science.
RuPaul said.
So, the third runway is Science is a Drag. I was so excited for this because I love unconventional material challenges, especially fashion challenges. And yeah, I was excited. That's all I'm going to say. I was excited.
I also was excited because this is a hard challenge, right? Like,
Yeah.
most people in the drag community anymore can't sew, they can't create a look. We just get away from that because
Yeah.
we grew up in a world now where, you know, drag is so accessible now.
Yes.
There's businesses that drag queens have created to create drag for us so we don't have to do it. But it's so important to be able to do. There's so many drag queens in the world, we all have to know how to make our own stuff now.
Yep.
I think unconventional materials, yes, is hard, but actually can be easier because you don't have to know the technical skills.
True.
You just have to be stronger than some paper, right, to be able to rip it up and super glue it, right? So you don't have to have the technical skills. So I was also very excited to see what these hoes would come out with.
And then
I was very disappointed to see what these hoes came out with.
bitch, to be honest, same.
Yeah,
Same.
yeah, it was it was interesting. I've been a competitor my entire life, right? So to me, practice is very important.
Yes.
So when you do a performance challenge, you're practicing. It's the same thing, like when you're writing a script and you're writing jokes, you're practicing.
Yep.
It's the same thing with your look. You need to put time into it, and that's your practice. I could tell from most of them that there was not any time put into the looks. Obviously, we're all amateur drag queens because we're not
Yeah.
all touring worldwide, right?
Yeah.
So we only have a limited amount of time. I'm a drag queen that has a 9-to-5 day job, so I also understand that.
Yep.
Time is limited. And then some of the people in the show, in the cast, are also booked in other shows throughout the week. So I understand it's hard, but you need to make sure that you give it the time that it deserves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was missing from this.
You know, it's no surprise that I agree. That's my word with the Dean's Room is I agree because I love being able to just have nothing and from that nothing something is created. That can be with anything. I've made outfits out of McDonald's bags. I've made outfits out of shower curtains. I've made shit out of anything, right? So I was so excited to just see all this creativeness out on the stage, and I was a little disappointed. But there still were some that I think stood out a little bit more.
Absolutely.
So who were those for you?
So some of the ones that stood out to me, Hotel was one of them. Just this huge headpiece, back piece thing. It, for one, looked different than everything else on the stage at that point. So that was super cool. I think Sage was going in the right direction with the look. I think the look was clean. I can tell time went into it, which honestly, I think for this judging part of it was about the only saving grace for most people, is if you looked like you put time into it, for this part you probably got most of the points.
Yeah.
If I were a judge, right? Because it's one of those, I think it was, to bring up a school thing, judged on a curve. I think it was graded on a curve, right? It's when everybody does so bad on the math test that if you got a C, you now got a B because, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of how it was.
And I think Sage got great critiques on the look that were very specific to, like, not the kind of critique where it's like, well, I hated it, I would have changed everything. It's the idea's there. Yes, it's an unconventional material, so it's actually really hard to have a full silhouette that other people might like, whether you like an hourglass or not. But then I think it was Eris said, you could have put the planet thing around your waist, and that would have created the illusion of a different shape.
Yep.
And that was a very easy fix. But I think Sage had a clean look. I got science. I got unconventional materials out of it. I loved your shoes, girl. Keep those shoes tight, because I heard other people say they liked them too, so hold on to those. Don't bring those to the gig. Who else?
One of mine that stood out was Leota Tombs with the dinosaur aspect. However, I will say that when Leota came up to me, because during the week prior,
I'm forgetting what this look was.
It was a dinosaur out of styrofoam.
Oh yes, that was really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I told them, I was like, if you're going to do the rock as a meteor or whatever as your outfit, make sure that it's not just a rock. And it kind of was just a rock.
Yeah.
Right? So I was most excited for this because I love dinosaurs so much. So when I knew that this was going on, that was their plan, I was like, okay, bitch, Leota's about to come out here and they're gonna slay with this dinosaur and this outfit that is supposed to be representative of a rock. So then I saw the dinosaur and I was excited for it, and then I saw the rock and I was like, come on, Leota.
Just a rock.
Just a rock! But it was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good.
The dinosaur was good. I can tell there was time put into elements in the look, and again, like I said, I think for this runway, this portion, in my mind, I was judging based on, like, if you actually put time into it, then it was passable, and hopefully your other looks were good to push you through for the win or not.
Okay. I like that. So, that was our third runway.
Yes.
That means that was the entire ball. That was 21 looks that we saw. There were some highs, there were some lows, there were some middles. There were some that fell through the cracks, except Maelstrom. We redacted that already.
True. Oh, also on the last runway, I liked Saileen's concept.
Okay.
The molecule with the hula hoops.
Yes.
I liked the concept. I liked the little bits that were the part of the molecule that's going.
Yes.
I don't know. I was smart, but I don't know.
Okay, see, I knew it was a molecule.
Yes.
I got that much, but that's it.
That was about it.
That's all we got was molecule.
I liked the idea. Again, maybe a little more time put into it. Could have adjusted some things.
Some more details. Or,
yeah.
Details. I keep saying.
Some more unconventional materials added in to make it look a little different.
Yeah. Some more
aluminum foil, maybe. I don't know. Something.
After the ball, we ended up going on to critiques.
Yes. My favorite part.
Normally we critique only the top and the bottoms. However, this week, if you were not in the top, then honey, you were in the motherfucking bottom. So, we went on to critiques.
Yes.
Everything was going fine.
Yes.
Everything was going great.
Yes. Wonderful critiques. Everyone was handling the critiques well.
And then, boom! Joshua gets on the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
And then Devin gets on the microphone. They go head to head. Devin goes in. Joshua goes in. And then they go just back and forth. Ah!
And
it
then-
was like that scene from Mean Girls
Yes.
in the cafeteria.
Yes. And then the uncomfortable. They were going back and forth, and they stopped going back and forth, and we're just going at the same time.
Yes!
And it was so uncomfortable, because both of them are valid, right?
Yes.
And one being a judge, and they were there to give critique, and one being a contestant, and they're allowed to feel a certain type of way about critiques.
Yep.
We're all human, right? But it was the happening at the same time got it to where it was really heated.
Yes.
And I think you actually had to be like,
Yes.
we're done now?
Yes.
Moving on?
I had to interject. I'm like, okay, we are done because we are going in circles.
Yes. Because it was both of them were coming back to the same point.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very interesting. So my advice on this, whether you're judge or contestant, is judges are gonna judge the way they feel, right? Like judges are human too. We all have days where maybe our tone comes off a little different than it should. Maybe we choose the harsher word instead of the nicer one. You know, there's 21 looks to critique. That's a lot of critiques.
Yes.
Judging is hard. So you might say things wrong. And as a contestant, you're allowed to be up there. You're being critiqued in front of people, the public. You're allowed to feel a type of way about that. My one thing is just remember that we're all human, right? At the end of the day, we are all human. We're going to react in a certain way, and we're going to act in a certain way. It's just going to happen. Now, when given a critique, my philosophy is smile, nod, and say thank you.
Yes.
Once you get your critique sheets, look through them, take what works, and get rid of what doesn't. That is up to you. It is your art. You do not have to take every critique. You usually have to listen to them if they're a judge. You have to listen to their critique. We don't have to always take it. So say, in the moment, hold it back, smile, grit your teeth if you need to, say thank you and move along. If it is something that you actually feel is a big deal, and actually the judge should not have said it and should never say it again, whatever it might be, that would be a time to, as humans, come together and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Meeting one-on-one and saying like, hey, I understand the critique. The way it was given was maybe harsh or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Honestly, the drama was so much, I don't even remember what the critique was at this point. But that was kind of my take on it from both sides of it.
Okay.
Right? Like, we're all human. It was 21 looks. You had to do 3 looks. The judges had to judge 21 looks. Everyone's a little bit tired. We're at a bar. Maybe there was some alcohol had. Who knows? But yeah, it happens, and you just gotta be a human and meet humans where humans are and talk about things.
Exactly. That is one of the biggest things that I always stress to people is communication, and effective communication is really the key to any type of conflict resolution, right? Is
Absolutely.
communication, and efficient communication at that.
Mhm.
So when you have situations like that, you necessarily are not helping the cause, right? It's counterproductive to rebuttal. It's counterproductive to just sit there. Instead, how about let's just, as you said, smile, nod, thank you, and then from there have a conversation if need be. So, but yeah, that was a little spiciness that that was not expecting at the Drag Master. So yeah,
It did add to the drama, though.
it did.
None
It
of
did.
us will forget that ever happened.
At all. So Joshua, you did that.
We forget looks, but
Not the
we
drama.
don't forget that. So, you know what? It worked. You made an impression, and I can't say that I was surprised you made an impression because she always makes an impression.
Always makes an impression.
She
but
does.
with on the flip side of that, with that being said, you never know who's watching. So if you have those moments on stage and there's like show directors out in the audience, they're gonna be like, that person may be difficult to work with, so let's not. You never know. So impressions can be positive and they can be negative.
Very
Just
true.
saying. Just
You
saying.
never know who's watching.
Mm-mm. Santa Clauses.
I mean, there were 2 show directors sitting at my table.
So after our critiques, we had our placements.
Yes.
So if you were not in the top, you are in the bottom. So that means that our top was Maelstrom, Leota Toombs, and Sage Love.
Yes.
Yes. And our bottoms were Hotel Manassas, Joshua Sunselli, Saline. What am I forgetting?
3 hours later.
Oh, Mariana.
Hiliana. Woman of the hour.
Those were our placements.
Yes.
And the winner of the night was Leota Toombs.
Yes. I agree. I think they did a phenomenal job across all 3 looks. They hit the mark. They checked off all the boxes that needed to be there. And then I think, honestly, that last runway was, as long as you didn't do as bad as everybody else. That's where it was.
Honestly.
The other looks were good. The skeleton of the
dinosaur.
the fossils were good. Obviously, everyone has things that can be improved on. I'm wearing Shein right now, so, I'm sure things could be improved on. But, yeah, I agree.
Yay. Well, congratulations, Leota. This is, I believe, their second win. We'll
Sage
get back
won
to
the
that.
horror challenge, didn't they? No, Maelstrom did.
Maelstrom did.
It was
Maelstrom won
between.
the- Yeah.
So
So,
it was the same top 3, though.
yes. This has been a consistent top 3. Not gonna lie. Well, congratulations, Leota. So, our bottom 4, Hotel,
Mhm.
Joshua, Saline, and Bariana.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was safe, and 3 had to lip sync.
Yes. Which I thought was
Shocking.
sickening.
Yes.
I love that. I love when more people have to lip sync.
Yes.
I think it makes it fun. It adds that little bit of danger.
It really does. It makes you feel like what's the word? Exhilarated?
Yes, exhilarating.
Exhilarated. Ooh, just saying that word. It's like, ooh.
Exhilarated. Ooh. Yeah, I loved that all 3 had to lip sync. I think it also makes people feel less called out.
Yes.
Like it's kind of the blame is split between 3
Yeah.
at that point, right? And then also there is a higher chance of you not going home.
Possibly.
But also lip syncing with 3 people on the stage
It's hectic.
has its own issues, right? So it's like a crowded dance floor.
It is.
It's hard.
It's hard. And our bottom 3 that had to lip sync were Joshua Sunselli, Bariana Grande, and Saline. So Hotel was safe.
Yes.
Rightfully so.
I
think
agree.
Hotel did pretty well.
I think their last 2 looks
Really were.
really gave them those extra points. I don't want to keep saying points like it's a pageant. I don't know how it's judged. I don't know how it's scored.
There are points.
But
yeah.
if I was judging, I would still do a point system. I'd be that Alyssa Edwards, like, you won, you got the points. But yeah, I think her last few looks definitely just
Took it over the mark.
really added those extra points to kind of make up the ground that might have been lost in other parts.
Okay. Yeah. With that being said, our bottom 3 lip synced in Expulsion.
Yes.
And it was hectic.
What was the song?
The song was Break the Rules by Charlie XCX.
Oh, it was a Charlie XCX song. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know her. I feel sorry for that woman. I don't know her. I only know, like, Boys and Vroom or whatever.
I don't know any of them.
Yeah, she's after my time. I'm an old biddy, so I just...
So that was the song, and the lip sync was eventful.
Yeah.
And, we had the possibility of potentially sending 2 people home versus 1. We told the judges that if they believe that more than 1 person deserved to go home, that they should mention it when they go to vote.
I love that.
Yeah. And so
I
the
love
lip sync
that.
happened.
I love that.
And
Because it's like telling you, yes, the odds are better, but also no, they're not anymore because
yes.
anybody could go home. So don't
Exactly.
lose your fire.
Uh-huh.
Keep your fire. When you go to do a lip sync expulsion, that's like you start to get down on yourself because you were just in the bottom, right? So then that's when those inner saboteur, your mind goes against you
Yeah.
and is like, you're terrible, and this is speaking from experience. You're not worth anything, you can't do this, you can't even do what a drag queen is meant to do, which is perform, right?
Right.
So don't let that get to you, and then you'll usually do okay. Whether you can kick, split, or whatever, you'll be able to do okay as long as they can see that fire from you.
The passion. I always say, like, all I want to see is the passion just pour out of you.
Mm-hmm.
And there was only one judge that had said for 2 to go home. Yeah. And I would have agreed. Honestly.
Wow.
Yeah, I would have agreed. And then everyone else just said one person.
So who would have been the 2 that would have gone home?
Should I divulge that tea? Or should I save it for the finale? Or for the reunion?
Save it for the reunion.
I'll save it for the reunion, y'all.
Because then you have to show up at District West on Monday, something, to be able to see it and hear it.
Exactly. The person that ended up going home was Ariana
Grande.
Yes, for a second time.
She already had hers.
She really did. Twice. So listen,
She got hers again.
She was the first one to win. She was the first one to get eliminated. She was the first one to come back in the season. And the first one to win a second challenge. And the first one to be eliminated for the second time.
Girl, she got highs and she got lows.
And it's been a roller coaster ride for Ariana, honey.
Love that.
And Ariana said literally, I'm not sad anymore. I'm just glad because I get to sleep.
I saw her out back and she's like, I'm just tired. And I felt that.
I felt that in my core.
Yeah.
I definitely felt that in my core.
Yeah.
Well, Anaslaysia, that was our episode. That was the ball. And you got to spill the tea with the faculty in the dean's room.
Spill the tea with the faculty.
And I have one question for you.
Yes.
So, for the Science is a Drag runway, what would have been your science project that you would have come out, and what would have been the unconventional materials?
I would have done an unconventional material that's made into a gown, and I would have done, everybody did volcanoes, right?
Yeah.
And I would have done a volcano gown. Like out of paper mache or something.
Yeah.
Just get chicken wire or something. I don't know. That would really cut you up. But I don't know, something. And do a gown that's made to look like a volcano.
Ooh.
I was like, that would be so fun.
You should do it.
And then rhinestone the fuck out of it.
Why not do it?
Yeah.
Why don't you make a gown that's like a volcano gown? Doesn't have to be out of unconventional materials, but just make a volcano gown.
That's good.
Yeah.
And then just have this huge erupting fiery red and orange and yellow hair. Yes.
File. What's it called? A wave.
Or
just
smoke
a
too.
fall. Or smoke.
Smoke. Like
a grayish.
Like Maya Business hair.
Yes.
Maya Business hair color.
Maya Business hair. There we go. Grayish. Oh my gosh. See, bitch.
She can be creative.
Okay. Yes, bitch.
What would yours have been?
Oh my gosh. There's so many. Okay, so remember back in middle school when you used to have the science days and you would do all these cool little projects, and there was one where you had a plate, you put milk on it, and then you would put food coloring, and then you would put a drop of soap in, and it would spread all the food coloring everywhere, make it look like fireworks of color. So I would take inspiration from that. Obviously, I can't make a gown out of fucking milk.
Yeah.
Or anything out of milk, but I would use the paper plates, I don't know, and just make it look like I'm a splash of the paper plates would be the milk, and then I will paint some paper plates in color to make it look like it's a splash, have some soap right here, make it campy.
Mm-hmm. Very campy.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I always think about that. Because it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Because you would just drop a little droplet of soap and it's like,
I never did that.
look it up. It's so fun.
I never did that.
Let's do it right now.
Stay tuned for the
Drag
Science
Master.
Fair. Drag Master, the Science Fair.
Yeah. Well, now one more question. where can everyone find you on the socials of media?
Everyone can find me on the social media at anaslaysia.queen on Instagram, or Anaslaysia and Job. I don't use the last name. It's for legal purposes. The government makes me. But we just go by Anaslaysia because, you know, we're kind of like Cher in that way.
Yeah.
A little delusional, and I think that people know me by just my first name.
And 100 years old.
Yes, also that. Yes. Not plastic, but, you know, fantastic.
If you're not plastic, you're fantastic. You heard it here, folks.
Very that. Well, thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much for coming over and spilling the tea with the faculty. Did you have fun?
I did have fun.
Yay.
And if any of you new entertainers have any problems with what was said, come talk to me about it.
Yeah.
I'm happy to talk to you.
Or here. Come over here. Come to mama. Come
No,
to your
here.
tia.
Come over here. Come over here.
Come over here. No, come over here. Come over here!
Okay, yeah, you can go over there.
I hope that for season 3 we can have you again for the Dean's Room and possibly as a judge. We'll see.
Maybe there'd be a PE challenge.
Oh! Have you been looking at our books?
The syllabus?
Ah! Yes, syllabi. Talking about syllabi. Goodbye, everyone!
Syllabi! I've dropped a ball or two with these on.
I always cup them.
Oh, that's smart.
That way you don't drop them. If you cup them, you don't drop them.
Stupid. I used to take allergy shots for years. I used to get 3 shots every week.
Same. I hated it.
I hated
Every
it.
single week.
The worst thing was the
it
allergy
was
test. Oh god.
All the
Yes. My
on your
mom was
back.
like facing me and I was on my back and like
Yes.
once they did it, she just saw my eyes start watering and my nose running and I was like, ooh. She was like, you look miserable, and I was like, thanks, I am.
Yeah, I had it done multiple times to me.
Oh god, I think I had it done twice.
Yeah,
Because they changed doctors and we redid
Oh,
it.
mhm.
And then they did a really good one and I was like, oh god, that was
yeah,
a lot.
oh, childhood trauma. Great.
Could I have a napkin?